you got to throw the TNT, and that is the first time we've actually used the E-Trax Plus Solid. And I know you were just asking me like, oh, what is that? Well, in comparison, so E-Trax was like, if you go to like the Rubicon and some stuff like that, E-Trax Plus, the first time we used that was actually on the X2. And you and I had talked about that earlier.
Correct, yeah.
And so what that means is, it's our base, our aggressive reactive, but there's no nano additives in it. Because then you get into like, say, the Micro Trax, which is like 100% nano load. You get into the Extreme Trax, which is like a 50% nano load. So this is, not as early and it's not as aggressive as those covers, but it's a little bit like I think you saw, and that's what did you see?
Well, you and I talked about that earlier, even with the RST2,
X2, yes.
Right? That I liked it because it's a little bit cleaner, still reads the mid lane, but really continues for me. I don't like to fight the fronts. So the first thing I saw of the TNT is that I can get it through the fronts easy, and it reminds me of a more aggressive idle.
Right.
It still reads the middle part of the lane, but it's definitely more continuous than an idle was.
And so what makes total sense off of that is because like the idle was Micro Trax, and so that was 100% nano load. The Helios, which was the kind of reincarnation of the idle, but that was Extreme Trax. So we went from the idle being 100% nano load and Micro Trax to Extreme Trax, which was only 50%.
But I still felt like the Helios was a little bit earlier. Remember, we talked about that as well. With this, though, the other thing I do like is that I didn't even touch the surface of that yet.
Correct.
And I can throw it right out of the box. Now, a lot of times, if it's got that factory finish, I've had to touch it a little bit before I throw it. That ball right there, I could throw right out of the box and get a good read on the lane. Gotcha. And I think that's a bonus too.
And so let me ask you this, because one of the balls it plays off of, which is kind of a common knowledge, like phase 2. I mean, you've had success, you've thrown phase 2s for however many years now.
Right.
You see this as being something that's going to kind of play off of that, because that's the whole thing when we're looking across our 3 brands. It's like, we need symmetricals, we need low RG, but we also need different shapes. We need different reactions.
Absolutely.
And so it kind of fits in that category, that window.
Well, for the phase 2, and then of course, and I know I keep throwing it out there, but I just love the RST2. I always plop that in because I love the cover so much. So no, I see this.
The solid version of it, right?
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
That's where I think I would go. And yes, the phase 2 would be in there, but I would probably go in the other direction as well.
Because you're liking the cover.
Yep.
Well, there you go.